Welcome back, guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Looking at the TBM 930 with a pretty awesome registration number. It's a little inside joke there for some of you guys. We're in Savannah, which is one of my favorite spots, and we're using live weather. We're going to see how this works, but I wanted to test out an instrument approach and see if we can actually get that to work. So we're going to leave here. Right now, I think it's filed direct to, but we're going to add in an arrival, and we're going to try to do the ILS. Winds are currently variable at 4, so I can kind of choose, assuming the weather is correct, but it's low IFR here at the moment, and I'm flying to my home airport, so hopefully it kind of stacks up with what we're seeing in real life, because I want to see how that works, how realistic it is. There are some discrepancies with the TBM flight model, which I'll point out as we kind of go through startup and everything. There's a couple things that they need to fix, or to tweak, I guess. I mean, it's still, everything seems to have worked. I haven't done an instrument approach, and I'm not sure what kind of functionality there is to expect out of the avionics suite, but we will test it out together. So we are going to go ahead and get things fired up here. Crash bar, battery, and generator on main. Aux BP pump on, and we'll leave fuel select on manual for the time being. Make sure we're in cutoff, manual overrides off, and start. I'll double check our park and brake. Oh, she's on. Alright, waiting for the NG to hit 12%. Low idle, and here's one of the things that I don't like so far, is it's super easy to hot start. So at 52% NG, you'd switch it over to high idle. And eventually, if you left it there for long enough, it would start to heat up. But you'll see what I'm talking about with the ITT here in a second. Alright, so there's 52%, high idle. And you can see the ITT spiking already. So you should be able to leave it here for a while. But you can't. You need to go ahead and switch it over to... Oh, right there, so we almost hot started it. What the heck? It didn't work at all. Let's try that again. I mean, if you want me to hot start it, I can, but there's 52. The ITT is still going up. And that's the only way that you can get it from hot starting, is if you pull it into the flight range, which is not exactly realistic. But that's fine. We'll go ahead and turn on the inertial separator since we're on the ground, and we'll probably need the pitot heat today. Alright, we'll get an ATIS, and I'll probably fiddle with the procedures and stuff when we're in the... Actually, let me go ahead and load an arrival here. So let's go... I'm not sure which one would be MFD. There we go. Procedures, arrival. We want the organs arrival. I cycle through here. Oh. Organs 3, and let me pull that plate up and see which transition we want. So I turn head dragging off here for a second. Show plate, organs 3, we want should we just put it in to the organs transition? That way we don't have to worry about, because I'm not really sure where these are geographically without putting them in and looking precisely. So transition, let's just do organs. Can we do that? Or select no transition? Because I think for us, probably, alright, it doesn't look like we can not select a transition. So we'll do this one, which should be closest to us. We'll go ahead and load that and zoom out and make sure that looks alright. That's actually pretty perfect. That works. I'm not going to do the whole ATC thing. I think it's going to be kind of distracting, particularly if I'm kind of fighting with the airplane working. These things don't necessarily work out exactly as you would expect them to. So look at that on FMS. We're going to switch. Let me see what runway we're using. ATIS.
Savannah Airport information, Charlie 1400 Zulu. Wind 027 at 8. Visibility 10 in heavy rain. Sky condition, few clouds at 500 feet, few clouds at 4,400 feet, few clouds at 12,600 feet. Temperature 27. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.07. ILS runway 10 in use.
What?
Landing and departing runway 10. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Charlie. Savannah Airport information, Charlie 1400 Zulu. Wind 027 at 8. Visibility 10 in heavy rain. Sky condition, few clouds at 500 feet, few clouds at 4,400 feet, few clouds at 12,600 feet.
Alright, 027 at 8.
27. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.
So the runway's probably right. Let me get a heading for departure real quick. .006. Goes fast. Alright, 006. That works. Inertial separator's on. What else do we need? Auto. AP trims are on. That's good. And you can get our lead on auto. Set up our FMS here. Out select. We're going northwest. So even altitudes. We will do 20,000. And we'll do heading select for departure, and then we'll switch over to nav once we can intercept our course, and vertical speed should be able to pull off 1800 pretty good. And that'll do. So I think we're ready to taxi here. This should be interesting. One of the other discrepancies that I found was typically this little green mark here would be where you would set your rudder trim for takeoff, and if you do that, it does not work. You yaw like crazy, and it actually influences the way that the nose wheel steering works, so you end up using a lot of left rudder while you're taxiing for some god-awful reason. I think we should be able to just go straight to our right here, down to the end of that runway, so that's what we'll do. Also, if I release the parking brake now, you should start rolling forward, and you don't. I'm keeping it into this taxi range, and sometimes actually going back into reverse or to beta range to slow it down because there's so much power, but that doesn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and take the parking brake off. You'll see we're not moving, we're not rolling. And another big thing that I found that I really don't like is that as you climb, the torque does not decrease. Typically what happened as the air gets thinner, your torque would decrease. when I pull the inertial separator off, you're going to get probably an increase of up to 20% torque, which you have to pull the power back because the torque doesn't come down. And your limiting factor at altitude ends up being torque, when in actuality it should be ITT. So you could run about 800 ITT, we can't get anywhere near that. So really the performance, a lot of the flight characteristics of the TBM are just way off at the moment. So anyway, other than that, complaints out of the way, I'll go ahead and taxi down to the runway. It also needs quite a bit of power to get it moving, which is kind of ridiculous. We're TBM, dog. Taxi lights. And I should have had my strobes on when we started up. Excuse me? Kind of a bad place for you to stand. Also, to get airborne and check the flight plan. So we put the Worgen's 3 arrival in there, which is an RNAV, so it should have all the accompanying altitudes and stuff in there, but I doubt that it does. I mean, it's cool that the navigational info is included with the game, but so far a lot of the avionics are kind of lacking in terms of implementation. Here for a second, check our ailerons. And can we stick our head out the window, check the... Oh yeah, we can see the elevators back there. Those are good. I'm not going to feather it because the overheating issue that I was talking about earlier. Go ahead and get takeoff lights on. And pretty good to go, I think. Clear final. Windsock not really representing what the ATIS was telling us at least a minute ago. I think there's also a way to set your V speeds on the PFD, which I should have done. We'll wing it. I'll get the approach on there for sure. And rotate. Tap the brakes. And gear coming up. Get a yaw damper. And we'll switch it to autopilot here for a second. Make sure that's doing what it's supposed to do. Flaps. once we get it intercepted on our course, I'm going to switch it over to flight level change and see if that works. Neat. Switch it to flight level change now. And 135. Whoa. Alright, so the speed is coming down, but we're not pitching up. That doesn't appear to be working. I guess we'll have to watch our airspeed to make sure that we don't stall. Alright, the deflection's come down. I'll go ahead and switch it over to nav mode and should intercept that. Since that's not working, flight level change isn't working, I'll go switch it back to vertical speed, and we can control there. Seems to be following the nav line. That's good. Let's zoom out and have a next rad picture here. Alright, so we got next rad. That's what we're looking at. So once we hit Maui, it's going to get a little hairy. I don't think there's any thunderstorms or anything, but the weather is not good here at the moment. Alright, so torque is at 82%. It has not dropped since we have taken off, so at almost passing 10,000 feet right now, you would expect to have seen that dropping pretty significantly. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the inertial separator off. I actually need to pull the power back to do it, because it could increase by up to 20%. So we want it to be at least 80% torque before we do this. So there's 80, inertial separator off. Alright, you can see the torque is coming up. Almost at 100%, 99. Yeah, so now I got to pull the power back even some more. So that's a pretty significant issue that needs to be probably addressed in an update. What I would like to see, honestly, is like some more like better implementation of real flight characteristics and avionics in these planes, because the interior looks amazing, the sound is amazing, but they just don't quite work the way that they do in real life at the moment. on 1. I want on standby 132.275. That is LZU's ATIS. Be a little bit closer. I will switch that. If winds are actually like they are reported now, we can pretty much choose whatever we want, but I imagine that they're landing runway 25. Winds are variable at 4 knots. So I might go ahead and load an approach here in a second as well. Let's go back. Procedures. Alright, so I got the War Against 3 arrival and what approach? We're not going to do the VOR DME 7. We are going to do... Let me pull up the plate here. ILS localizer 25. Can't actually see the plate when it loads on the map because of the weather painting over it. Turn off our radar composite. There we go. ILS 25. Already have 100% torque again. So again, the torque should not be climbing as we do. When the air is getting thinner, it would actually be decreasing pretty significantly. So what I'm having to do is to keep pulling power. So really right now, I mean, maybe your torque would be about 90%, but ITT should be close to 800. But I can't use all that power. Back down here, ILS 25. Gwinnett transition, is that what we want? So the Gwinnett transition would be a procedure turn. I don't want so it's making you do the procedure turn. You can't select no transition. So you can see it goes outbound and then it comes back inbound. So really Gwinnett is actually your, should be over the middle marker. Well, that's interesting. There's no option to choose no transition. So I guess I'll be doing a procedure turn. And I'll go ahead and get the ILS frequency in there as well. I wonder if that loads automatically. So we got ILS 225 load. Not going to activate that. Let's go home. Nav and comm. So nav. How do we select nav? This is turning out to be all sorts of fun. Alright, here we go. Nav 1, the ILS frequency is 109.95. So now that's active. Alright, we got the localizer in there at least. What is going on out the window? Hey, buddy, looking good out there, friend. with torque here. About 96% torque. So really, if things were working the way that they should be, our true airspeed would be a lot higher, and probably our ground speed as well. Although still pretty decent, 300 knots. Yeah, I would like to see that get worked out. Looking too good up there. We'll go ahead and take a look at the arrival plate too while we are cruising here. Organs 3, our transition. So turboprops, expect either 8,000 or 6,000 at organs. So that's actually pretty close. It's about 20 miles. Organs is about 20 miles south of Gwinnett County, so I'm probably going to go 6,000. See what the weather's doing. Approach. Already got the localizer in there, 109.95. Approach course is 249. Runway length 6,000 feet. Touchdown zone elevation. What up? How you doing? No, what airport? I haven't installed any sceneries or anything yet. Oh, cool. That actually sounds pretty good. Did you post a link, or is it on that flight sim page that you posted? I saved that, but so far all I've seen is like liveries for A320s and shit. I don't care. Gotcha. Post a link, or is it already in the Discord? Here's a question for you. I don't know how much you've flown the TBM, but it doesn't seem that I'm trying to do an ILS approach into my local airport, and it doesn't seem like it'll let you choose no transition. You have to fly the entire approach. I don't want to do a procedure turn. Well, you can go to the page to select the transition, but the only transition that's there is the one that involves the procedure turn. There's no option to not include one. I guess what I could do is load the approach and activate it, and then go direct to the final approach fix. Which is what I'm trying to do. I wanted to see if I could do a whole IFR flight. But not looking too promising. The weather, however, is perfect for it. I mean, it's low IFR at the airport. I think ceilings are right at 500 feet, so it could be cool if we get it to work properly, but otherwise we might die. Failure Tuesdays. Also, testing out yesterday, I turned on the weather radar to see if icing would melt off the dome, the radar dome out there. It doesn't. Sad face. I'm gonna look down here again and see if I can find a way to home. No. MFT procedures approach. So there should be an option to select no transition. Yeah, I mean radar makes things hot. However, the ice boot actually is animated. That was cool. May get to see that today. I'm not sure what the cloud tops are where we're going. Well, actually I'll turn it on real quick just so you can see it. Let me go back. Might be an option. Let me look at the flight plan real quick. So we got that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so what I could do is just go direct to whatever this fix is. I don't know what it's called in real life. Alright, check out the ice boot. That is cool. Yeah, let me double check. That approach fix that was. Oh, that actually is the waypoint. Oh no, it's not. Is it? Oh, Conley. Also, there's a section to put in minimums somewhere, isn't there? Oh, here goes speed bugs. I want approach 85 knots. Maybe I'm thinking of the 350. I know there's a place to put minimums in. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably their version of the G1000, but it certainly doesn't have all the functionality. I don't really... Can't make heads or tails of it. I swear I saw a place to put in your minimums. Oh, there we go. Minimums for us. It's gonna be... Is this... I'm guessing this is radar altimeter. I don't know if it's not. Well, I'll put it in the MSL 1540. Half-mile visibility and 1,540 feet. Yeah, barrel, okay. We got it. Oh, looking good where we're going, boys. It does that thing that X-Plane does where it turns away from the waypoint before you turn in on it. CJ4, where were you flying? What's going on? Weather? Yeah, so far the autopilot is a little wonky. I was just saying before you were on here, the interiors of the cockpits look amazing, and the sound is all phenomenal. So what I'd really like to see, I mean, kind of more so than payware, is to see the avionics and autopilot and all the systems fleshed out a bit more on the default airplanes. That would be good. I'm not sure if Adobo or Asobo is planning on doing that, or if they're probably expecting people to mod them or what. But it's an amazing flight simulator, and there's a lot of potential, but particularly these airplanes, it'd be kind of a shame if they didn't fix them to be a little bit more, I guess, like real life. It's kind of going back and forth trying to capture this magenta line. Some other things that I noticed were the torque is really wonky. As you climb, the torque doesn't decrease. So when you turn off your inertial separator, the torque shoots up. And so right now my ITT is 542, when really that should be the limiting factor and not torque. So it's the exact opposite. No bueno. But the ground speed ended up being fairly realistic, although, I mean, I imagine that probably if we were able to make this like real life with the torque and the ITT, it would be a bit higher than 309 knots. So I'm going to go 8,000 at Morgan's. Morgan's is 50 nautical miles, and we are the right. Yes, so 36 miles from Morgan's, and we'll start descending. So 8,000. Question for people. If you look like underneath the right elevator right now, you see like those turquoise little ponds. I've seen those all over the place. I mean, I imagine it has something to do with the mining operation, but what the hell are those? You can see them everywhere. There's one, there's some right out of the plane, these guys over here, some over there. Somebody help me out. This could be bad. And I think after Skyme, we'll go ahead and activate that approach. hey, that's Villageville. That's one of the first days you were playing around with the game, and I was telling you places to go. You can actually see the airport right there. You fly down there once in the game. That's one of my favorite approaches. What was I talking about? Probably nothing important. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start descending. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Milledgeville, that's the lake airport that I told you to go fly to see how it looks. I need to fly down there in the sim one day on stream because I love that approach. It's really cool. Yeah, that looks nice, man. So after SkyMe, we're going to activate the approach, and I'm going to go direct to the final approach fix. We're going to skip, I don't want to do the procedure turn. So all the times that I've done the ILS there, I've never done a procedure turn in real life, other than for tests. approaching. What are you up to? Melon! Testing out the procedures, see how the instrument approach might or might not work. Climb. Thank you, my buddy. And that's a copyright strike. Alright, 2,000 to go, 11 miles, and then we're going to send, I'm going to go activate the, after SkyMe. Check out them clouds, oh boy. Place your bets. We live or no? I'm gonna go ahead and turn the inertial separator on. 1,000 to go. One thing I noticed is it doesn't slow its descent rate down for you as you get close to your target altitude. It'll shoot through it and then correct too. No, I think Melon purchases everyone's subs. Maybe hungry. That's the same, one and the same. Alright, so after Worgans, we'll go 6,000 and start working on setting stuff up. Monial Melon. Inertial separators on. We are above freezing, don't have to worry about that. What is it now? Oh shit, let's see if we can get the ATIS. I didn't get the new altimeter.
Airport information, Kilo 1500 Zulu. Wind 084 at tree. Visibility, tree in heavy rain. Sky condition, few clouds at 500 feet, few clouds at 4,300 feet, few clouds at 12,500 feet. Temperature, 2.10. Altimeter tree 0.09er. ILS runway 25 in use. Landing and departing runway 25. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Kilo.
Information Kilo. So we got the right approach. Ceremonial melon. Yeah, that's not ideal. But it is worth a chuckle. Oh, look at this little valley for us to fly through. Okay. Yeah, the weather, the wind on live weather is shit. Look at that, though. OMG. Alright, let's get ready to activate this bad boy. IMC is so much better done in this than any other flight simulator. I mean, even like the color when you're looking at it out the window is spot on. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just straight out of the box. You can hear some precipitation now. Activate the approach and see what happens. And I want to go to no. So I need to choose a different waypoint to... What the hell? This is going to be interesting. Well, I could switch into heading mode until we intercept the localizer. Which is what we might do. Let's do that. Heading. Altitude 3,000. Just pretend like they're giving us big old vectors to final. That's disappointing. Set this up to go localizer 1, and approach course is 249, I believe. Oh, it's already set. Can't do it yet. That's what I was just saying to Aiden a little while ago. I think because the planes look so good and sound so good, what I'd really like to see probably more than payware at the moment is to have these fleshed out and kind of fixed. You know what I mean? Because you can make these, not necessarily study level, but if you make the avionics work, that would be pretty cool. And really, I mean, for an ILS, this isn't too bad. If we were doing an RNAV, it might be an issue, but this is kind of what you would expect in real life anyways, to get vectors for a final approach fix, so. As long as that works, and the flight director doesn't go off. That is so awesome. Oh, hell yeah, boy. That's what my DPE told me on my check ride afterwards. I didn't know how to intercept. I use the GPS to create like a user point to intercept an airway off of a fix, away from a fix. He's like, hey, if you're ever struggling with it, just tell him your ETC that you're having a glitch and that you need vectors to fix or something. So when in doubt, ask it out. Or fake it out. When in doubt, blame technology for you. Well, to be fair, it wasn't really user error. I've never been asked to do that before. I just wasn't, couldn't make an error if you didn't know how to do something. Story. True. Dude. Well, there's a lot of things you're supposed to do. That's why they call, you pass the test. It's either satisfactory or unsatisfactory. I did 95% of the other things right, so that's a win. So the glide slope is alive on the right side of the PFD. %5 will kill you, that is true. See, like this, the color and everything of the clouds when you're looking out the window, this is phenomenally realistic. You go quitting on me now, boy. I also just showed him that the ice boots are actually animated. I wish we could get some replay action though. I miss being able to watch replays. Oh, wrong way. Winder. KWDR is a shithole airport. What could be the last feature they had? Oh, the replays. Oh yeah, no, me too. I can live without the replays. Get some juicy screenshots and stuff anyway without them. So I wonder, we'll see if the approach is going to work, because I might have to just take over and fly by hand. So we'll go until we intercept the ILS. I'll make a north turn here in a second. And we intercept the localizer, and then I'll hit the approach button and see if that actually starts to bring us inbound, or we're going to have to take over and fly it the old-fashioned... Oh, I can see the ground. I'm going to start slowing down a smidge. Go and let the airplane do some of the trimming. ILS frequency is 10995, which should have in there already. I don't remember how I got to it in the first place. Yeah, 10995 is active. Nice day. This is what it looks like in real life right now. So at least the real weather is doing its thing. Alright, so we're gonna make a north turn. We'll go 335 or 355, 350. So we intercept the localizer. I'm gonna start slowing down. Assuming that the localizer frequency is correct in the game, but all the other stuff has been pretty spot on, so... Guess I actually might need to bring this a little bit. 330. Check landing light is on. Inertial separator's on. You can't see it right down here. What I should have done is idented the frequency, but we're still... I don't really know how to do that in this airplane. But you can see nav1 is tuned. So normally, I think on the G1000s, it would be showing you the identification. Oh, that's it. It is showing it. ITXP. That's us. Go 300. Hopefully the deflection is going to start coming down here. I'll turn on the approach mode and see if that does anything for us. Otherwise, we're going to be flying her by hand. Also a little bit off altitude at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. Alright, deflection's coming down. See if this does anything. Alright, it's turning inbound on the localizer. We're already in flap speed, so we're going to go flaps and landing gear. See what happens when the glide slope comes in. So far, so good. Just re-verify. Our minimums are, I think, 1540. 1540. Alright, we are established on the localizer. And just past the final approach fix. We're still a little bit high. Should expect that glide slope to come alive here in a second. We can see our approach speed's bugged there on the left. And we'll wait to do final configurations once we get to the middle marker there. You can see the NDB should start blinking for us or beeping for us. Even landing gear looks good on this thing. Yeah, I should have changed the registration to November 851 Tango Bravo. Be a little nerdy. Zoom this in smidge. Looks like the glide slope started to drop now, so we'll see if we capture that in a second. Gear down. So what I would normally do in real life is get the gear down right before you started your descent, but yeah, I definitely For some reason, I thought that waypoint that we fixed or we just passed was going to be the beginning of the descent, but it looks like you stay at 3,000 until 2,800 until you get to the glide slope intercept. So I should have waited. That's fine. I got nowhere to be. Alright, glide slope's about to come in. Let's see if it starts descending. Negative. We're gonna have to take this over. No descent here, so autopilot off. And it doesn't look like the flight directors are following that either. So we're doing it the old-fashioned way, boys. I can just see the lead-in lights right now. So it looks like we definitely have our visual requirements met. There's only a half-mile visibility. We're more than that out, so we can go ahead and continue our landing here. And get fully configured. Well, the thing is, all the planes are slippery until you get your flaps and your gear out, then they kind of behave like you would expect them to. This is amazing, because in real life, this is exactly how it looks. There's these two big warehouses that I usually use as a visual reference if they say to intercept a 3-mile left or right base for this runway. We have the Malzer, the poppy lights are on the left side of the runway, though. And it's a 2-light system, not 4. But everything else looks exactly the same. This road right off the nose is 316, which is good when you take off runway 7, because there's always a place that you can crash land if you need to. They did a spot-on job. I mean, the only difference now, obviously, they're doing a little bit of construction on this end of the runway, so it looks a little bit different now, but it's just because the ortho photos are a little bit older. I'm not sure. It looks like we got a crosswind. I don't know what the wind's doing in this game. it's not. It's a 1,000-foot marker. It's no big deal. Welcome to LZU. Go park it where our school is. Call the FAA, show them that video, and be like, man, that was a good landing. I like it, this guy has chops. A lot more PC-12s and TBMs here than there is in real life. And it seems like they put, I don't know what that's supposed to be. The tower is behind us kind of at 7 o'clock, but there doesn't seem to be a tower in here actually. Hotline. The FAA is a hotline. They got operators standing by for narcs to call in. This is where I park in real life. It's a little bit different, but you know, it'll do. That'll do, pig. I don't need no umbrella. I'm not a pussy. Yeah, there's usually a lot of service vehicles rolling around on the taxiways, but fortunately didn't have an issue with those today.
Oral warning, okay.
I forgot to turn the yaw damper off. Whoops. Alright, let's see if this overheats if I leave it here. Oh yeah, ITT's coming up. Oh, no. There it goes. Bye. Bam, there you have it, boys. That's what I'm talking about. The sounds are phenomenal. All the models are incredible. They sound good and they handle pretty well. If they can fix the avionics and some of the functionality and stuff, it'd be cool to have those as opposed to new paywares. But we'll see what happens. Either way, man, that was cool. It just doing an ILS like that mostly works. The glide slope didn't work for some reason, but everything else did. Anyway, boys, I'll see you later. Aiden, Melon, thank you again for your generosity, guys. We will see ya. Peace.